Well, welcome to our webinar today, everyone. My name is Josh Antis. I'm with California Coast Credit Union in the Community Relations Department. And hope everyone's staying cool out there on this hot summer day. Before we get started, just wanted to mention a few things for you. Everyone will be placed on mute for the duration of today's presentation. However, if you do have any questions, please feel free to incorporate them into either the question and answer box in the Zoom platform here or into the chat box, and we will monitor those and answer your questions for you either as we go or at the end. Also, I want to mention that we do have some really great resources for you along with today's webinar. We have a portal that we've created for City of San Diego employees, such as yourselves, that has our Enrich platform, which is our financial wellness resource with videos and articles and tools and games and all kinds of, and courses as well, all kinds of great info on any number of financial topics. It's all free, it's online, you can go check it out. We also have recorded webinars available there through our YouTube channel. And we have our financial wellness center that's open a couple days a week. You can access that center, and it's staffed with live CalCoast staff members for 3 hours a day. I believe it's Tuesday, Thursday from 11 to 2, something along those lines. So if you have any questions at all about any of your finances or anything that's financially related, you can talk to them live and either in a group setting or privately. And it's, again, completely free. And there for you, we want to provide as much info and as many resources as we can as your partner in crime here for your finances. So please take advantage of all those. I'm going to go ahead and incorporate that link into the chat box now. So if you'd like to go ahead and utilize that, you can. If you are viewing this webinar as a recording, you can check out the description below, and the link will be down there for you as well. And then lastly, for those of you that are present today, we do have a survey that will pop up at the end of today's webinar. That survey, it's like 5 or 6 questions, just a quick survey. We just want to see how we're doing, how we can improve as we go, as we continue to do these webinars. If you could take the time to fill that out, it'll pop up at the end, or also you'll receive an email that will have the survey incorporated as well. And everyone who fills out the survey will be entered into a drawing for a $25 DoorDash gift card. So in a couple of days, we'll select the winner and notify them that they have won. But please take the time to fill it out. We appreciate your feedback. And so with that, I want to go ahead and introduce a couple people today. We have Karen Burke-Acosta from our business development team here at CalCoast. She also is a senior mortgage loan officer for us, and she does a plethora of other things as well. She kind of wears multiple hats, but she's here today to answer any questions that you might have in regards to our products and services or any specials that we offer for the City of San Diego and City of San Diego employees, excuse me. One of the offers that we do have right now, it's a special promo that if you're not a member yet, if you become a member, we actually pay you $100 to do so. So if you are interested in becoming a member, please talk to Karen, and she will get you set up with that promotion. And then let's go ahead and turn it over to Terralyn Rose. She is our financial coaching department manager, and she's going to be presenting for us today on dealing with debt. Terralyn does quite a number of these presentations for us, and she's been through quite a 24 hours. I don't know if you were here earlier, maybe you heard her talking about it. I'm sure she'll share her story, but with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Terralyn.
Oh, thank you. Yes, quite a story. Can't wait to share that with you when we get to one of the slides that we have on periodic expenses and unexpected expenses. So yeah, my name is Terralyn Rose, and I have been providing the service of financial fitness at CalCoast for the past 12 years. And I'd like to start off with talking a little bit about myself, letting you know that when we talk about this dealing with debt, it's something that is near and dear to my heart. When I started this 12 years ago, I have twin daughters, and I owed $46,000 in credit card debt. Not talking about my car loan, not talking about student loans, just credit card debt. So when I started doing this 12 years ago, I was the first client. I went through all the steps we're going to talk about today. So I hope that some of the information you're going to learn, some of the handouts we're going to share with you at the end will help you in your progress in dealing with your own debt. We're going to get over to the slide. So we're going to start about 4 things that you need to deal with that. You need to have an awareness. you need to have goals, something you're working toward, and you need to have a plan so that you can stick to it, and the determination to stick to that plan, which will help you reach your goals to deal with debt. So we're going to go through each of these 4 steps today. And we're going to start with the step 1, awareness. So this is where we have to pull our head out of the sand, stop being an ostrich, pull it out and really start looking at how much do we actually owe overall? Because I got to tell you, I had no idea that I owed $46,000. It was $1,000 here, $5,000 there, $2,000 there. And then I actually wrote it all down and wrote down how much I owed, how much the limit was, how much the interest rate was. I wrote everything down, the minimum payment. I wrote it all out so I could see that bottom line and cry over the $46,000 that I owed. That was the first step, because I can't create a plan to deal with it if I don't know what I owe, right? So I'm going to write all that down.
Hey, Caroline.
Yes.
Can you share your screen?
Oh, that would be helpful.
I can see
yes.
the PowerPoint in your glasses, the reflection in your glasses.
Let's try that.
There we go.
There we go. All right, now you got it. Okay, so how much do you owe? What are you buying? What are you using those credit cards for? So I want you to go do a credit card autopsy, and I have a handout for that, where you pull up your statement and you write down all of the purchases underneath the right category. So you're going to see, am I using this for just general food? Am I using it for gas, like normal expenses that I have, my living expenses? Am I using it for the unexpected things? Am I using it to buy things for my car, things for my house? Am I using it to buy clothes? Am I using it to buy alcohol? What am I using those credit cards for? I'm going to write it all down so I can really kind of do a deep dive and understand what's going on. The next thing we're going to go to is what causes you to overspend, because that's really what debt is. You are relying on somebody else's money to pay for things that are more than the money that we have to pay for, right? So what causes you to overspend? And there's a lot of different things we're going to look at here. Let me click back on here so I can get to the next screen. Oh, I do want to talk about this. When we talk about how much you actually owe, we're looking at how much are you paying also. I have a really cool handout that you write down your payment, you look at your statement, and you look at how much of that payment went towards interest and how much went towards principal. So if I'm looking at $1,000 balance on a credit card that has an 18% interest rate, I actually am going to owe about $15 in interest every single month, which means only $5 of my minimum $20 payment is going towards reducing that $1,000 balance, which means it's going to take me 7 years and 10 months. What are you using the credit cards for? I'm about doing a credit autopsy, really looking at the details of what's going on with those credit cards. So I have a really cool handout that kind of goes over, again, where you're putting everything. Next thing we're going to look at is why do we spend more than we earn? I feel like this is a really interesting, a deeper dive into looking at why we get into debt, right? So something happens, we don't have the money for it, we use a credit card, okay. But what are the things that drive that usage of those credit cards? I kind of want to go over these things because there's a lot of things that might be impacting your decisions and you're not even aware of it. This is one of the things that when I was getting my certification really helped me understand what's going on. So the emotions, this is, have you ever gone after you missed your child's soccer practice and you go get ice cream afterwards? Or we win a promotion and we're really excited and we go out and celebrate with our friends. Or what do we do when we win the Super Bowl and we're so excited? Everybody says we're going to go to Disneyland, right? So these are those emotional driven expenses that we do that we're sad. We break up with our boyfriend and we have to go commiserate with our girlfriends. We go do a spa day. The emotion driven, looking at what you're feeling before you use that credit card. I have a great emotional log that you go in right before you spend something that's not gas or groceries. You write down what was going on. Did you just get off the phone with your grandma and she made you feel really horrible, so you're going to go out and grab some food with friends? Write down what you're feeling, what's going on, and really do that deep dive into the emotional part of spending. Then the environment. So you have all of these things that are bombarding you all of the time. You've got commercials, you've got TV, you've got ads, you drive by the billboards. Everything around us is telling us to spend more. that you have to have bigger, better, faster. You know, you see Matthew McConaughey driving his cool car that costs $50,000. We have to have that, or we're not going to be as cool as Matthew McConaughey. So that's the environment around us that's constantly telling you buy more, buy more, buy more, right? And then you have your next door neighbor, and this is the image that keeping up with the Joneses. They have a new boat and they have an RV and they've got 2 new cars. They just did an addition and they've got a new pool, and all their kids have brand new smartphones and all their kids have brand new cars. And you're looking like, well, your kids are begging you, like, all my friends have iPhones. Why can't I have a brand new iPhone? Or all my kids have the Michael Jordans. Yes, I'm dating myself. The Michael Jordan was cool when I was in high school. So this is that keeping up with the Joneses, that you're trying to spend the money that you don't have to keep up with the people who, next door, they might not have the money either. They might be getting deeper and deeper into debt. I have seen so many people who filed bankruptcy right after they bought 2 new cars and put $10,000 in bookshelves in their brand new home because they didn't have the money. They got in deeper than what they could afford. So live within the income that you earn, not the income that your next door neighbor earns. Then we have the entitlement. So this is the people who I just had a really great week and I worked really, really hard and I deserve to go to Hawaii for a vacation. You absolutely do, but you don't deserve to spend more than you earn. So this is where we go in and we look at this finite amount of money that we have to spend, and we work that vacation in because you absolutely deserve to go to Hawaii. You deserve to go to England. You deserve to go to all the places you want to go. But we need to plan for that to make sure we're living within that income that we have, right? Then the habits. This is a really interesting one. And this was really something that impacted me a lot. And it was looking at how do we overcome the habits that we've gotten into. I go get coffee every single morning with my friends. It's just part of what we do. Or I go out and I do, Jamba Juice after Girl Scouts every single time. Or we go get pizza after soccer practice. Or we go to Soup Plantation every single Sunday because we always have, right? And it's like we have this pathway in our brains that says, stop doing something different because it's a lot easier. There's actually a pathway in your brain that's created when you do something over and over. Your brain takes over and says, relax, I got this. You don't need to worry about it. Just go think about other things. And so in order to get out of that pathway, we have to create another neurological pathway in our brain. And it takes at least 3 weeks of regular work to overcome that old habit, because that's always back there saying, come on back to this way. It's a lot easier this way. Go to Soup Plantation every Sunday. Go get coffee. You like it. You enjoy it. So those are the things that we have to really be aware of in order to overcome it. Okay. So emotions, environment, image, entitlement, habits, all of those things are going to impact some of our spending decisions. And I just want you to be aware of that. And back to this. Okay, now in order to create new habits, you have to set goals that matter to you. So we talk about goals, and I'm talking about SMART goals. I don't want to say I want to be debt free. Well, okay, that's why you're here, but I want to pay off $1,000 in debt in the next 6 months. It's specific. I can measure my progress. I plug that into my cash flow plan and I can afford it. It's attainable. It's relevant to me because I really, really want to stop losing $862 of my hard-earned money. And I have a time frame where I can measure and achieve that goal. So that I can then achieve another goal, write down another one. So when you write down this goal, I want to be $1,000, debt-free in a year. Let's do a year because I can do the math in my head for that one. That's $84 a month. That's $42 every 2 weeks. That's $21 a week. So I'm going to break that down into a smaller amount so that I can see I can totally do $21 a week, right? I can monitor my progress once I have a set time frame and a set amount. And once I've achieved that goal, I want to create just a little something to help me celebrate. I'm not saying, okay, I didn't go to Starbucks at all for a week, so I bought tickets to go to Tahiti. I've actually had a member do that. I'm talking about, okay, I'm going to, what's something that really makes me happy? I like books. I like to read, obviously. So I'm going to go buy that book that I've had my eye on, or I'm going to go go get a cup of coffee with my friends and celebrate. That's a small, inexpensive way to celebrate reaching this goal. And then I'm going to set more goals, again, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely, so that I'm working towards something. When you have something you're working toward, you're much more likely to do what you have to do to make it happen, right? If I just say I want to be debt free, okay, that's great. But I got this, goal, this spa day with my friends, and it's going to be an amazing time, and it's all inclusive, and it's only $200. Okay, wait, I want to be debt free. I can take that money and put it towards my debt. What's more important? Then I have something driving that decision that is near and dear and close to my heart. Then I'm going to set up my plan. I have my net income, the money I actually get to spend. I'm going to set money aside for my savings accounts. And we're going to go into a little more detail here. I'm going to do my periodic savings, my emergency savings, my monthly expenses, and that's going to let me know what I have left over to pay my debt. Your plan needs to have a positive cash flow. So if while we're saving for things, I have a negative cash flow and I can't pay my debts, we need to go in somehow and make sure that I A, increase income, or B, decrease expenses. That's the only way that you can cover a negative cash flow. And if I have a negative cash flow, I'm either pulling money out of my savings until the savings is gone, and then I'm relying on credit cards until my credit cards are maxed out, and then I'm forced to do this. So let's get you into a spot where I am in control of where my money goes. I'm going to tell my money what to do instead of wondering where it goes and why I can't pay my debt down. So I'm going to put all this on here, and I'm going to go into this a lot today, because for me, people always come in and say they got $1,000 in their tax returns, and they call me, should I pay down my debt or should I save? The answer is yes. You have to do both. You cannot be debt free if you don't save money for the things that you typically put on credit cards. Okay, so this is a really big part of getting out of debt, is making sure I'm planning for those periodic expenses that come up. So I call this the 6 Ps. Prior proper planning prevents poor performance. So I'm going to look at all of these periodic expenses that I do have. They're absolutely a part of my life, and I'm going to include that in my plan, right? So I'm going to go to home repairs, auto repairs, vacation travel. We're going to talk briefly about each one of these. I have a really cool handout. Let me see if I can pull it up in here. And I want to go to auto repairs. So I'm going to make this, I have to share. Can everybody see this? Can you just type in the chat, somebody say if you can see this auto repairs home expenses? No. Okay, so let me do a new share of this example. Thank you, Brenda. Okay, I think I have it up on the screen now so you guys can see. So this is my auto repairs example, and what this goes over is the 3 biggest things that to me have ended up on credit cards. So auto repairs. Oh, I have an example for you on this one. I have been on vacation for the past 5 days. The last day yesterday, we were supposed to be home at 9 o'clock, but on the way home from Yuma, Arizona, we decided to do a stop at the Kofa National Wildlife Refuge. So there's nothing anywhere around. There's a cool half-mile hike to Palm Canyon. So we go down this road and we never find it. So we turn around and we come back down this dirt road, and our right rear tire blows, completely blows. We have no cell reception. It's 107 degrees outside. So we continue going, limping along, and we get to about a half mile from the main road where we got cell reception. So we call AAA. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. We're supposed to be home by 8. 3:30 in the afternoon, they say they can't get to us until 8:30 that night. Okay. So luckily we have enough gas. We got the air conditioning going. We're fine. But they call us back 5 minutes. Sorry, we can't get to you. You have to make it to the road. So we limp along to the road. I have AAA. It's only free for the first 5 miles, and then it's $6 per mile. We were 50 miles from Yuma, the closest town where we could get our car towed. So that tow cost us $300. The 2 rear tires cost us $400. We had to stay overnight in a hotel, wasn't expected as part of our plan. We were supposed to be home, another $100. So these are some of the things that happen that if I don't have money set aside, ends up on a credit card. Luckily, I've been doing this for 12 years. We've got the money set aside for it. But Auto repairs. If you have a car, this is not a surprise that you're going to get oil changes, that you have to replace your tires, that I have to have the 30, 60,000 mile checkup, that I have to get windshield wipers, alignment, brakes, batteries, that I have to pay my DMV renewal every year. Not a surprise. So all of these on a newer car is $1,260 a year. And if I have an older car, I have things that are going to break down a little more often, like wheel bearings and a motor mount that cost me $400 on my old car. So I need to do maybe a little bit more if I have an older car, but this is a definite, right? So $105 a month is a part of my normal everyday living expenses. So I want you to set up an auto repair savings and put money aside. I get paid bi-weekly, $53 every 2 weeks going into an auto repair savings. Home expenses. If you're watching this on a cell or watching this on a computer, those will have to be replaced. They're not going to live forever. You have to get a new TV sometimes, unless you don't watch TV. You're going to replace your mattress. Please replace your mattress. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the videos of mattresses that are really old. It's disgusting. You have to replace your mattress. You have to get towels, sheets, kitchen. I have to replace my blender. I have break glasses. I do candles and decorative items. All of those things are part of living, right? And if I'm a homeowner, I also have to think about replacing the refrigerator or the dishwasher or the washer and dryer or the water heater or a window that breaks or the backyard. Everything in the house is your responsibility. And you know the refrigerator is not going to last forever. So we want to plan ahead for that and put money aside. This on here is for someone who's not a homeowner, and it's still $1,300 a year. I'm going to do all those things. Not a surprise. The other one I have is gifts and holidays. So this one really shocked me. I have a really cool gift grid I'm going to share with you guys. So let me get that up. Give me a moment. Close that. Maybe I didn't open it. Okay, I didn't open it. So I will send you this gift grid that has the names of people that you buy the gifts across the top. Down the left are all these different events. And in the cell, you put down how much you spend on that person for that event. I also want you thinking of the general expenses. So Halloween, I do get a costume for myself, but I also buy candy and decorations. Christmas, I do buy gifts for everybody, but I also buy a Christmas tree, do Christmas cards, Christmas baking, Christmas dinner, Christmas event. So all of these things are a part of my expenses. Valentine's Day, yes, my daughters are 29. I still do little things for them for Valentine's Day and Easter. If you've got young kids, you've got their birthday party. So my total was $4,800 a year. It was a shock. So everyone who's ever done this spends more than double what they think they spend here. So I want you guys to take a chance to fill that out. But if you look at this, just $2,900 a year is $241 a month. And there's nothing on here that I'm not going to do. I may be able to spend a little bit less and get away with a little bit less, but I'm going to spend this money. I need to plan ahead for it. So I feel like that's a really, really good thing to look at. In terms of, these are the three main things that I have seen show up on credit cards. So I want you guys to be aware of that, and we're going to plan ahead for that. Okay, back to this. So we're thinking about all these things. We're also talking about the big expected, the things you know, the TV, the tires, the unexpected. You know, maybe there's a fire up the hill, or maybe there's an earthquake, or maybe there's a flood, or maybe you get in a car accident and you have to pay the $500 out of pocket, right? If you have kids, you know, my brother liked to stretch belts, and one broke and knocked out his front tooth. He liked to drive his bicycle down the front steps and broke his collarbone. I've been in the hospital for back surgery, Bell's palsy, chronic fatigue, 2 shoulder surgeries. It's been over and over. So these are things that we want you to plan ahead for. You can't expect it, but you can plan for it, okay? And here's an example of how to complete. I have this great periodic expense calculator. I'm going to do, as I rent a room, $500 a year for household repair and items, okay? I'm going to plan $500 a year for medical dental. I have a flexible spending account, but it's already July, and because of my shoulder surgery, I've ran through all the money, so I'm going to be paying out of pocket. So I do want, if you have a $100 copay to get an MRI or a CT scan, or $30 for a copay for X-ray, that kind of stuff. Auto repairs, vacation. Who wants to go on vacation and not have what happened to me happen? But we went to Carlsbad Caverns, Colossal Cave. We went to Tombstone, had a great time. Clothing, shoes, socks, underwear, gifts and holidays, hair, cosmetics, fun. Has anybody been to any concerts in the past year? So in the chat, type in what concert you went to and how much your tickets were. So I'll start. I went to Trace Adkins and Blake Shelton. My ticket was $100. And then I went to En Vogue 2 years ago. My ticket was $60. So anybody been to any concerts or events? We went to Whose Line Is It Anyway? The tickets were $100. Anybody in the chat gone to any? Okay. Well, mostly it's like $50, $100 tickets. So if I want to have fun, if I want to go to the San Diego County Fair and spend money there, I want to include that in here. And you can see down here, I'm taking this annual amount, bringing it down to a monthly amount or bi-weekly, semi-monthly, weekly, however you get paid. We want to set this money aside as part of your plan. I treat this like a cell phone payment. I treat this like my rent. I have to do this because there is nothing on here that I am not going to do. It has to be a part of my plan. Okay, so here's that setting up the whole plan. Here's my income at the top. I'm setting money aside for my annual expenses, setting money aside for emergency, setting aside for my retirement. Here's my fixed expenses, my variable expenses, my debt payments down here, and I've got a positive cash flow. Now, if I want to pay more towards my debt to reach my goal of doing $1,000 in 1 year, because this isn't going to make it for me, then I got to go back in and find a way to reduce my expenses or increase my income. So I have more money that I can use to help me reach my goal. So that's something that I go to, okay, can I rent a room? I can go from $1,500 down to $700, right? And that opens up a lot of money. Can I get a 2-bedroom and rent a room out? So that cuts my expense down. Can I look at my gas and electric? Can I look at all of these expenses? Can I get to a gym that only is $20 instead of $50? So I'm looking at everywhere the money is going and figuring out how to increase my cash flow. Now I'm down to, I want to pay off my credit cards. What's the best way? This is one of the most common questions that I get. So if I have a positive cash flow, we have written down all of our debts and we know the interest rates on all of them. I'm going to attack the highest interest rate card first and pay the minimum to everything. I don't want you doing minimum payment of $25 and $50 to everybody, because that diffuses how effective you are at attacking my debt. If I've got one that's at 29.99% and one that's at 10.99, if I attack the 29.9 next month, I'm not losing that interest, right? So I want to go after the highest interest rate credit card. Everything I've got extra at that one, pay the minimum to all the others. And then once I'm done with that, I take that minimum payment, I add it to the next one on the list. There's a great website called powerpay.org that shows you how that works. So my $45,000 in credit card debt went from 10 years and 7 months to 3 years and 5 months. It was awesome. And so that's the best way to attack debt financially. Now, if I have a negative cash flow, if I've got $1,000 balance on a credit card at 29.99 and $1,000 balance on a car loan that's 5%, but my minimum payment is $300. Well, if I have a negative cash flow, I'm struggling, right? If I pay off the credit card, I get maybe $25 a month extra. That's not going to really help me. If I pay off the car loan, I've got $300 extra. That's going to make a really big difference in my cash flow. So if I've got a negative cash flow, I'm going to go after the debt with the smallest balance and the highest payment, right? Because that's going to help open that cash flow for me and make it easier for me to live within my income. Now, there's another way of attacking debt that's by credit score. So we're not going to go a lot into that, but I have all my information on my credit cards balance to limit. Balance to limit ratio is 30% of my credit score. And I need to get every single balance below 30% of the limit. So if I've got $1,000 balance or a $10,000 limit, let's say limit, $1,000 limit, a $10,000 limit, and they're both maxed out. I owe 1,000 on the 1,000 and 10,000 on the 10,000. It's going to take me a long time to get 10,000 down below 3,000. It's not going to take me so long to get 1,000 down to 300. And as soon as I get that below 300, my score goes up 15 to 20 points, which might open up other options for me in terms of getting to some lower interest rates. Now, you can't borrow to get out of debt, right? You can't just keep moving your credit cards around. But if I can lower my interest and more of my payment is going towards reducing that balance, I will get out of debt faster. So it's something to look at, what's most important. Positive cash flow is interest rate, negative cash flow is payment, credit score, it's going after that balance to limit ratio. Attack one card at a time, minimum to everything else. That might hurt somebody's stomach to do that, but even if it's like $25, don't send them 30. Take that $5 and attack the highest interest rate one, okay? Step 4 is determination. You have to have determination to stick to the plan that you've created to reach your goal. And it's hard. You're constantly being bombarded with things saying, you need to do this, you need to do this. And you really don't need to, but you want to. There's a lot of things that are going to come up. So I have a really great handout, questions to stay on track. Do I want this or do I need this? One of my favorite questions, because a lot of times I don't need that really cute black leather jacket. I've got plenty of jackets. Okay, it's just a want. I don't really, and if I don't put $50 towards this, I can put it towards my debt. So is this spending helping me reach my goals? If it's not, why am I doing it? What is driving that decision? Is it emotion? Is it habit? Look at really what's causing you to spend when you have this plan in place. And then what's the worst thing that's going to happen if you don't do it? If I don't buy that black leather jacket, I might just talk about it for the next 20 years, but it's not going to affect me financially, in any way. So I can use that money. Is there another way that I can do it? So I can maybe go on Poshmark, Mercari, and get a used black leather jacket for 20 bucks. There are always ways. Brainstorm, talk to your friends, look at ways, they want to do a spa day for the weekend. Why don't you guys come over to my house and we'll do a pool day and we'll do a spa day at my house, and it's going to cost $20 instead of $100. There's always ways. When there's a goal that you really want to reach, you're going to do whatever it takes, and you're going to throw out all the ideas. Like, you can totally do this. If it's something that you really, really want, you're going to throw everything you have at it. Review your plan, know where your money is going so you're in control. Stay on track with your plan. It's your plan. Other people are going to try and take you away from it, but if you really want to make this happen, you're going to do it. But be realistic, right? If something happens that your tires blow and you have to replace the tires, obviously that's going to be an extra expense that's going to take me possibly away from the goals that I have for the month. When I had shoulder surgery, it's $85 a week for my PT, which means my goal of doing $3,000 a year into a vacation savings isn't going to happen this year, which this was a good year for that to happen because we can't go anywhere. But I'm aware that if I'm increasing one expense, I've got to decrease something else. Realistically, that's what's going on. If I increase something, something else has got to decrease to stay within the income that I've earned. Say no when you need to, so you can say yes to your goals, right? I'm saying no to that black leather jacket. I'm saying no to the spa day. I'm saying no to the really cool rims for my car because I want to stick to my plan. I want to be debt free. I want to pay $1,000 in a year. Say no when you need to, so you can say yes to your plan. And if you want to say yes, go back and figure out a way to make that happen. Take it. It's going to have to come from somewhere, though, unless you want to get deeper into debt. So be flexible. Be aware of that bottom line, because we've got to live within the income that we have. Remember what you want to accomplish, right? If I'm always driven by that decision and not all these things that are trying to pull me away from that, it's going to be easier. It's not going to be easy, but it'll be easier to stick to your plan. And the idea of living within your income, that prior proper planning, making sure that you have the money set aside for your tire so that I don't rely on discount tire, making sure I have the money set aside for my mattress so I'm not relying on mattress discounters, right? These are all things that are going to happen. So I want you being aware of this, planning ahead. That is going to help you get out of debt and live debt free. You have to get that money set aside. You have to save to be debt free. So did I make it? Kind of, sort of. Are there any questions? You guys want to unmute or throw it in the chat?
We don't have any questions right now, but I think we'll give everyone just a minute to formulate any questions they might have. Again, you can incorporate those into the question and answer box or the chat box, and we'll answer any questions you might have. But in the meantime, I just want to thank Tara Lynn for presenting all this great information. And if you would like to work with Tara Lynn, if you become a member of CalCoast, it is absolutely free to work with her. in a one-on-one setting, and she can help you with a plethora of things, budgeting, credit scores, increasing your credit score, making a plan to manage your debt. Gosh, help me out, Carolyn. What else can we
You
work on?
covered it. I can help you with every step that we've talked about today and then some. So I have handouts we're going to share with you guys, but again, I have a handout on reducing expenses in every single category. So if you want help in opening that cash flow, that is something that we offer as a free benefit. We never charge, whether you meet with me once or 3 times or 30 times, it's always free.
All right. And so it looks like we don't have any questions. Going once, going twice.
That's my direct phone number and my direct email. So if anybody has it, you can email me. We are going to send this webinar to you guys with all the handouts so you guys can reach out anytime.
Yeah, we actually will be posting a recording of this webinar on the YouTube channel that's on the link that I had put in the chat earlier. So I will go ahead and copy that link and paste it into the chat one more time. But I encourage everyone to visit this link here. Again, there's just any number of resources there. It's all free. It's on dealing with debt, but also many, many other topics. And there's always a way to get a hold of us there as well if you'd like. So I think with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thanks again, Carolyn, for presenting today. Everyone, please be sure to fill out the questions that pop up on the survey, either now or when you receive the follow-up email in the coming days. And we'll see you next month for our next webinar. Looks like on August 25th, we will be presenting on cybersecurity. So if you'd like to join us for that, keep an eye out for that email to hit your inbox, and you can sign up for that session.
Yeah.
But for now, oh, sorry, go ahead, Karen.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Josh. And I was just going to remind you, if any of you have any questions about joining the credit union or have any questions around our products, to please give me a call at your convenience. That's it.
All right. Well, thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Have a great rest of your day. Stay cool out there, and we'll see you next time.